choice you have, and there's a whole, and I'm not going to go into a whole bunch of stuff about the research that's happened in recent years and such, but I will mention a couple things. One of the things that to me is amazing is that research now, and scientific research now, is validating the fact that we are not physical, that we are spirit by nature, we are consciousness. And the foundation of quantum physics right now is that the universe is conscious. And quantum physics has understood that for 100 years now. All the religious traditions have understood that for generations and generations and generations, thousands of years, we've been aware that the universe is conscious. And we call that conscious universe God. That's what we call that conscious universe. And God is not judging you. God is not angry with you. God is not trying to fix you. God wants you to come into life, to learn, to experience, to grow. That's the point of a life. A life is not about coming into life and having an easy ride. What we come into life for is to be challenged, is to evolve, to grow, to become, to learn, to experience. If you're not in a physical body, how do you know what chocolate tastes like? How do you know what it's like to drive a bike? Or you can't experience things without physicality. And as spirits, as infinite eternal spirit, we can't die, we can't fail. It's amazing. And we live in mind, which is a hard thing to imagine, but we live in mind, which means that we are connected to that great consciousness. You and I, all of us, are individual, separate, distinct. I am an individual, you are an individual. You've lived hundreds of lives, you'll always be you. That's true. And when we connect to each other in spirit, we're all more, because we're all enriched by each other, because I, in this moment, am connected to each of you. And when I mean connected, I don't mean like just looking at you. I mean I can feel you. And in some way, you can feel me too, because you're connected to me as well. Whether you like it or not, we're all connected. And that's a super powerful thing, because our thoughts are what connects us. And our consciousness is what connects us. And if you can see my space here, I've got lots of plants, I've got lots of crystals, I have lots of those kinds of things. Because crystals and plants and animals and us, we're all conscious. Everything in the physical world is on some level conscious. It's hard to get your head around, and it's hard to understand, but it's a kind of consciousness, because it's mind. The physical world is mind. It's just mind that we can come into and forget that we're eternal, forget that we're infinite, forget that we can't die, and be challenged. And challenge is not a bad thing. In the moment, it may feel pretty bad, but we learn, we grow, we evolve, we become through challenge. There are things in your life that you probably didn't want to do, weren't going to do, were afraid to do. You did them and you thought, oh my God, that wasn't so hard. I got past that. Oh my goodness, I've learned that. Now I don't have to do that again. And that's what it's like to live a life. And when you come into a life, sometimes you're a man, sometimes you're a woman, sometimes you die young, sometimes you grow old, because you want to experience everything. You want to experience everything. And not just on earth. You're not only born on earth, you're born in other places. Anyway, I'm not going to go on any more about it. I'm sure I've given you enough to think about in that. But it's an amazing thing to come to understand that we are not physical, that we are spirit, and that we are evolving.